Good morning, Team Alliance. Hope everybody's excited. I'm excited too. Sorry to get back to you guys in a little rotation, but it's Sacred Flames birthday. So in position, I've already sent out TikTok videos. It's going to start at 10:45. We'll wait 5-10 more minutes before we get started. We're going to go into the bowels of the earth, of the cycles, life cycles, all communication, the afterlife. Truly understand what it is, all positions. Drawn is into allocating line tension, all positions to track systems. We all have to pay attention to ourselves. Now, like I said, you're going to get more triggers and triggers and triggers and triggers when it comes on the TikTok platforms. How do I do this? How do I do that? Concentrate on thinking. I do everything else in position locations. Phones are off reception, monitoring line connection, GPS track line centers. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it right away. Done. Positions to track systems, entity force coming into high line center. The only thing you should be concentrating on is you. Okay, you don't see me concentrating on problems on this end. You don't see me concentrating problems on that end or anything to that positions. Just concentrate on yourself and you'll be totally fine. Okay, but it's great that you guys are getting into confirmation line systems. Phones are off reception and interference, coming into high position line center. That's the true understanding where we come into more of phone reception. Okay, so don't worry about these things. It's all taken care of. All right, so I'll give 5 more minutes and then we're going to get set straight up to positions. It's going to be interesting how we actually go through the physical aspects of yourself. You guys are going to go through life and the death cycle. You have to truly understand what happens when you pass over. It's very important, these things, because the life cycle and the death cycle is you. That's how you're only going to get all positions of yin and yang to that connection. All right? All right. So I'll give you 5 more minutes. I'm just going to grab some water. We're going to be traveling to the bowels of the earth. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, so we all should be in a good mood. Every day should be in a good mood. You know, even if you're in a bad mood. If you're in a bad mood, put yourself in a great mood. You know, look at of all positions of somebody else's worst day is my best day. Try to use the psychological interference back in line center line conditions. Put yourself in your own shoes and nobody else's, because you don't want to get into any track system or anything emotional system line center. Mostly understanding that it's just to concentrate on yourself. We did a very powerful Zoom yesterday. Yes, we got in some triggers, but we broke free. All right, break free. All right. See, the problem with humanity is they don't understand the afterlife. And you can't just live on one cycle. You have to live on both, 2 and 1. 2 on 1. Okay. 2 on 1, right? Track system location, circle rotations. Okay. The bowels, right, of the tunnel and circle line center. Okay. So it's going to be interesting. We've never done this before. So what's going to happen is a reversing cycle to physical alignments is going to go in backtrack system, back in your conditions. To understand is that you start off at the very beginning. So when you go into that concept level, you can have your eyes closed or you can have your eyes open. It doesn't matter. It's already in transition. The code line center is all position line conditions. So it's all about understanding that the identification line center to your physical line system is already left. And the only thing that is in position is the soul going up, right? So you're going to see the transitions of the afterlife where you go into the bowels of the earth, the center core line center position. You go through your life cycles to the eye circle locations, right? So it's all position of view, right? And then basically you see yourself floating and you look below, you come into the outer body experience. That's a life cycle. That's a death cycle. You go through the beginning and then you go through a new beginning, which is 9-track system. Anything through 9 line center rotation is a new cycle. Okay. So try to understand when you get into the concept level system, when you go into 69, you put it together, it comes into yin and yang. All right. So that's the problem again with humanity, is because they have the yin, but they don't have the yang. And that's the true understanding, where you have to understand what it is going into the bowels of the earth. Okay. So, all right. So let's see here. Bing, bam, boom. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Tina, how's it going? Janet, Donna. Any other questions? Let me know. But today I'm going to be spending the day with my sacred flame. So, all right. Let's see. Commander, it's great to see you. Alicia. All right. Gorgeous. Yeah. All right. Transitions. Okay. Ellen. See, the more you get more character, more suffice, or your position like sin is true, understand why you need the life and death cycle to survive. And it's true understanding is get out of the fear of these things, not be afraid of death. Everybody's afraid of that. It's just like even the word just basically, but it's not what it means. It's not what it means. Okay. So position, when you travel through recognition line center or anything connections, high positions on soul main levels of rotation. Can you remember I was telling you about the alphabetical system, how it's about understanding the codes and decoding line center, everything in positions, all right? Understand what this is kind of, you kind of look at this, right? It kind of creeps you out, right? Dimensional earth, atom, teleportation, all right? That's a true understanding what you're looking at right now. Everybody thinks it's this, but as soon as you change the mainframe line center, everything comes into its positions, right? Teleportation of human, right? Human aspect line center leaves line connections in position locations. That's a true understanding what it represents. You think about that and you're thinking, whoa, is that what death means? So you're thinking, okay, this is great. Now I don't feel the fear anymore. It's a cycle interference, right? It's a psychops to your line condition interference locations. Sure, you're stating what it means and why is it here to location, right? So that's what it means. Okay, everything through its atom is traveling through its line center. Okay, you have the earth rotation, you have the dimension line center, you got the teleportation of the human. That's what it represents. It doesn't represent what you think it is. And you're thinking, oh, wow, that's fascinating. Now I know exactly what it is. Okay, so this will put you in a better perspective, right? And we already know what this is, the position, okay? You come into high level rotations of the system. All right. It's amazing when you come across these things. Okay. Life, right? It's interesting it comes into high rotations, right? Living, the intelligence, okay? Formation, okay, of energy. So it comes in that position line center. That's what it represents. So you understand the teleportations of life and the teleportations of death. Right? It's fascinating stuff. All right, so that should help you out. So we're going to get started. Now, when we go through this, you're actually going to go through the aspects of what happens step by step up to where you are now. This is all about understanding that you go into a black hole. And this is the true aspect where it comes into the life cycle and the death cycle into one. What is the life cycle and the death cycle? White and black. That's the meaning of life. Going into the white aspect and going into the black aspect. You put it together, you got the stream. Yin and yang, right? So you need the yin and yang to understand everything to the meaning of life of you. And the only way to do that is to go through both. Not just see both, but to actually know what it's like to be on the life cycle and the death cycle. Now you know exactly what death means. You're kind of like, wow, this is great, right? And thinking, okay, I don't feel the fear anymore, right? Because people are basically afraid of these things. But when you change the anagrams or anything through positions or all levels of an alphabetical system, what does it do to the mind? It changes the aspect, right? And all wave and cycles. So that's a true understanding. You come in that position locations. Let's see here. Phone is still offline watching from my laptop. Reverse online center rotation positions into Buenas. Put her phone back online center. So you guys have to truly understand is that you're going into glitching line centers because the thing is the adaptation cycle and that's rotation is putting you guys back into your physical line, right? So it's already set up. 24 segment is already set up through line rotation. So truly understand why you come to this positions. And that's an understanding. So once you go back into the life and the death cycle and you go back to where you are at this existence into the presence and everything for the now with the rebellion and everything with the galactic forces in the in and out line center rotation, then you get out of the glitches of your phone reception. Okay. Everything happens for a reason. You guys don't understand these things, right? So you have to have the balance between life and death, right? Okay. So any questions on that level, please let me know. Do you have something fun planned for your? Yes, I do. Yeah, we're just going to go out for lunch. She's going to be going out for 2 hours, 3 hours at the most, and then she's going to come back, and then I'm going to take her out for lunch. So probably spend the day, outside. Wheelan, how's it going? Thank you very much, Wheelan, for sending that duet. Break free. Samantha, how we doing? Hope your car is doing well. All right. And the most important thing is to get out of these situations and how to avoid these situations and put this into your connections. But the thing is, you can't really avoid anything anymore, especially when you're going to higher levels. You have to really understand what is going on with you with your life and your death cycles. Because think about it. You're living it every single day once you understand what death is. Because that's not what it is. Right? It's a different location. So you never really, really die. It's all the dimensional earth of the atom to teleportation of its human. That's what it represents. Okay. So H is position of the human, leaving the physical aspect, going into the directions of its intelligence, which is its soul. Okay. So that should make you feel better. Yeah. All right. So you guys are connecting. You guys ready to go? This is going to be exciting. Cynthia, how's it going? So any questions, let me know. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm going to be on TikTok today. Like I said, it's Saturday and it's her birthday. So we'll see what happens. If I have a chance, I will. All right. So once you see this, it's all set up positions. Now, I'm going to teleport you guys into Highline Center and the V vector locations. This is going to put you in the bowels of the earth. So you're going to go through physical aspects. You're going to go through frame. Okay. It's going to go extremely fast. So at least you understand that when you see the life of you, when you come into the outer body, and then the positions of the bounce line centers, another outer body. So you're leaving that location, which is 9 central line positions, and you come into a new cycle. That's the death cycle. It's the dimensional earth that's leaving the human aspect into the soul direction. That's what it represents. So that should make you a little bit more at ease, right? So it's all about travel and it's all about your clocking system and your life where it's identified to your birthdays, day, month, and year. That's important. You have to understand that connections. All right. So we're going to travel through high rotation positions. We're going to come into and out of Orion's belt. That's the only way. So you have to drop center into the bowels of the earth, all right, to actually go into the black tunnel. It's a black tunnel rotations with white streams. That white stream is going to take you to Archangel Azrael in positions, right? So it's a figure and a highline center. It's going to tell you exactly where you need to go, right? You follow the aspects. I'm giving you navigation signals so you know exactly what's going to happen. you're going to see this big, bright light. You're going to follow that big, bright light. It's going to go, and there's a tunnel that you're going to go through, right? So there's like, it's an overcross of an arc, right? And you're just going to, lights are going on and off, right? So when it goes on and off, you keep going through. And then you're going to fall into the depths, okay? Into the bowels of the center core of the earth, right? You have to go through the aspects, and everybody goes through that when they go through the hyaline center. So it's a tunnel through a high position that goes into the angelics, right? So on the other side, you're going to see who has ever passed over to your positions. You'll see your loved ones, families, or whatever who has ever crossed over, right? So don't be alarmed. They're going to say hi to you. I already talked to them. I already talked to all of them. So it's already set up through code. This is extremely real. This is what happens when you go into the bowels of life and death to the afterlife system. Okay. It's allocated through its code line rotation. It's already set up through position line center. All right. So when you see this, you're going to go through. All right. Just try not to get too shaky. Don't try to put any fear cycles. Just go through it. You'll see beautiful Archangel Azrael. He's got these amazing wings. It's kind of like seeing a hawk, you know. It's amazing how you see these things, but the wings come out and basically he's there to comfort you, just tell you exactly what goes on. It's a transition that goes into the angelics. It's a lot of process, guys, to get into the hyaline center because everything that crosses over goes through Father, Mother, and me, the triangle line interference, and everything in the circle rotations to its comfort zone goes into the center rotations to its angels and its archangels, to its connections. Okay? All right. So is everybody all right? Got his stuff going on at home with my son. Still got to catch up with the previous classes. That's fine. That's all right. Oh my God, I'm crying with excitement. Yeah. So you guys are knowing what it's going to feel like to see yourself through your life. Okay. So your life is going to go through cycles and cycles and cycles. Okay. It's like images. You're going to see frames. It's going to go, it's going to go very, very, very fast. And then when you go through that positions, you're going to drop. Okay. It's like Karen was talking about. You're walking to the water and all of a sudden you see a tunnel and you go down, right? You have to go in the bowels to go down. That's what happens. So you're thinking, wait a minute, hold on a sec. So you're telling me that the body's set here, but the soul doesn't go up? And I said, well, to you, it looks like the soul is going up, but it's going down. So this is where it's interesting. Okay. So when you go through that, it goes, it's kind of like, it's like a U, right? So it goes down, right? The body separates, right? The soul, okay? So the two track system line center rotations, there's two division line goes up to position location, right? The death cycle, okay, and the life position leaves the system to its body track system. I know it gets complicated, but truly understand that the soul goes up, right? But the identity goes down. So that's a Trinity standing where it splits the system, and then the body just becomes a body, right? And then it becomes coloration of green and blue, right? So the soul leaves, right? So it's pretty fascinating how you actually see it. And then the realms of the angels and archangels are there waiting for you. All right, so the dimensional opens up. But see, this is what it looks like through track system line conditions. All right, I'll show you exactly what it is. All right, so before I travel you guys, I'll show you exactly what is going on. All right, you come into the high position of the grounds, right? The power in the upstairs. So you have life in that position. So you have the grounds. Okay, you have like this. This is what it looks like. Your body's here. Okay, it's right here. All right, this is you. Okay, on the ground. Okay, that's you on the ground, right? So it's truly understanding what goes up and what goes down. So across its signals to its line conditions, right? So it's amazing how everything goes in position. So the soul goes up and like this into high line center, right? Goes up, right? The portal opens up its magnetic line center to its positions, okay? So once that opens up, it goes down in position, right? So the soul goes up, but it goes down, right? So it has to go down because it's going to where? The bowels of the earth, right? To get to the core center, to the angelics. The angelics is very complicated. So it's a tunnel that you go through, right? So the tunnel goes this way, this way, and this way. There's all direction GPS locations. But truly understand when the soul goes up, the activation line center opens up its portal line communication cycle in positions. And that's where the cycles comes in to that line center, right? So it's amazing what happens with the body as the soul goes up into rotation. Once it gets its information cycle, it sets up its DNA track to its navigation system, right? So that's the eternity standing. The body's here, but the soul goes up and then it goes straight down into the bowels of the earth. That's what happens when you go into your life and death cycle in position, right? So it's very powerful when you see these things through track system. All right, so you guys ready? Are you ready to go? All right. Activate line centers galactic forces in the GFL positions to rebellion. Put them in the bowels of the earth. Put them in the tunnel rotation line center to communications. Put them into the life cycles of high level rotation line positions. Put them into communications going into the death cycle of meeting Archangel Azrael. All right, down through equation. So you guys are going in the tunnel line center into the arc rotation positions to its traveling direction of its timeline center. Okay? 20 minutes, have fun. All right, so let me know what it's like to actually see. You're going to go through your life cycles. You're going to go through all positions of what you lived. You have to understand your life cycle, what it's all about. And then you have to understand what the death cycle. So you have the outer body experience, and then you have another outer body experience, right? So you're seeing your body for the first time when it's alive, and then you're seeing your body when it passes for the second time, right? Which comes into a new cycle of its first time, right? That's the track system to its line connections. That's where it comes into the soul of its identity. So the physical system, okay, goes to where? The ground system. The soul goes up to the angelic system. So they all come together down, right? So you see the soul go up, but you don't see it going down, right? That's the transition. That's where it goes into the angelics of line connections. It's really powerful when it goes into the bowels of the earth in your perception. In your perception. Okay? So let me know what you see. It's very real. You have to truly understand what the afterlife is, right? Yep. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. I feel like Alice in Wonderland going down the rabbit hole. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. Heather, how's it going? Right? Make sure you concentrate what's going on here, right? What I showed you on YouTube, right? Very powerful, right? Then you're going to be introduced to Archangel Azrael, angel of death. So, for you to understand these things, you have to understand the transition of life and the death cycles. So, you're never really dying. You're recycling. You're recycling. Okay, that's what's happening with you guys. You're recycling, right? The only thing, what happens is you live in a different physical line, right? But that's exactly what happens when you pass over. Okay? So, yeah. Large feather, black wings. You, very good. Wings are like butterfly wings. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you probably see him in your dreams, but you're actually seeing him for who he is. Yeah, I know. You guys will start crying, but at least you know what it actually exactly like to see you actually passing. So, you know, when that happens in positions, because we have a life cycle, and that's to understand where you have to really appreciate your life, right? Because you only get one. You only get one. You don't get two. You don't get three, right? And then you don't understand these things when you're passing over. So your physical system is trying to understand you, but if it doesn't understand you, it's going to keep going through its karma cycle, karma cycle, karma cycle until you do understand what the meaning of life is you to that connections, right? So, all right. Yeah, that's great. So that's making you guys feel a lot better, right? What you're seeing. The tunnel's intense. I feel like Alice in Wonderland. Yep, seeing the wings. There's going. Large flying wings, seeing Merkaba. Red Z and Z. Yep, 1, 2, 3. Large feather black. Yep, very good. All right. Seeing the wings. Mammoth wings. I can see. I can't see anything, but I'm with my third eye. It's so sensitive when you say whoosh, my body feels like it's falling. That's exactly what's happening. So it's like you going into the waters and then going straight down. That's what's going on. My soul stays still, but my body falls. I feel like I'm floating. And this is exactly what happens when you pass over to the afterlife position. Some people more feel it than others because you understand more of your light. And that's why you understand the earth perception of you has to be in full light of communication through its clock system. All right. He comes and embraces me. That's great. Excellent, Commander. That's real. So kind and loving. Yeah, my heart. So, but at least you understand what happens when you're on the other side now. This is exactly the transitions that goes through when you pass. But at least you understand what it represents now, right? Dimensional Earth of atom, of teleportation, of its human. That's what it represents. So, yeah, the wings are very big. Yeah. But that's exactly what it is, Janet. That's exactly what it is. Nothing is to be feared, right? I can feel the wings, the feathers. They're love, no fear, just love and light. I see. There you go. So this is where you guys are really going to see things now. You're going to see your sisters or whoever passed over. You guys have to be aware of these things and not be feared of this because you really communicate with them, especially when you go through the tunnel. So the introduction to its connection is the navigation of Archangel positions of Azrael. What puts you in positions goes to the tunnel, goes to the transition, understand your connections. You're living your physical system, and now you're nothing but light. So you're going to travel until you get to your family that's passed over. So, yeah. This will put you in better balance too when you see anybody that's passed over in your family relation. So much compassion. I see a bright sphere of radiation light. I think I just don't comprehend what to see. I feel like I was walking with someone and passing through different lives. Does that make sense? It all makes sense. That is my imagination, though. It's not your imagination. You're going into the life and death cycle of dimensional time. Okay. Everybody's trying to comprehend what's going on. This is what happens when you pass over. I'm putting you guys in position to know exactly what it's like. Okay. So you get out of the fear, right? I see. Yeah. So much. Yeah. It's quite amazing. I never thought of it like this. Thank you. You're welcome, Vicky. I see my dad sailing. I can see his favorite age of when he was most happy. Yeah. They're so proud of all the work I'm doing, loving myself and hearing everyone is happy. Yeah. I miss them. This is everything I imagined. Yeah. All past relatives are on the receiving line, standing in groups, float and embrace everyone, and all my animals are there too. See, and that's what it is. You're going to see everybody that's passed in generation. Grandparents, great grandparents, great grandmother, great grandfather, great grandfather. You're going to see so many trees of life. that's passed over. And that's going to put you in a better position to its yin and yang. I know. But this is exactly what happens, just so you know that you're aware, right? Being prepared is more better than not being prepared. And that's what the fear is, because that's what people are afraid of, when you pass over, because you don't know what happens, but now you do. So, my dog Ashley is here. Yeah, you see your dogs, your cats, all animals have passed. Joyful reunion, magnificent. Thank you for taking me out to the fair. Yeah, he has missed me. I'm so grateful. Yeah, so beautiful. I'm in the gardens. Yeah. My heart is complete, cracked open once again. And that's what it does. Every time you travel, your heart just really expands into what? A flower. So once your heart turns into a flower, you come into the arc positions to the Gardens of Eden. My mom and my sister are telling me I'm creating a life of love, something they could never do. They are proud of me. Well, that's it. And that's what you want. You want to be confirmed knowing that, wow, my brother, my sister, my mom is telling me this. This is fantastic, right? This is real communications to your family on the other side. So, yeah. Is really talking to me in his own language. Yep. My great grandma, Polly, is here. She's so powerful. I never got to meet her. I'm so thankful. See, you're meeting people, that you never met before. Like I said, when it comes into generations to grandparents, great grandparents, and it's a beautiful thing, when you have a physical line of a tree, but now you have a spiritual line of a tree. And that opens up more of your heart. And that puts you in more of your space to time of travel. Okay. So each one of them are going into my heart flower. Yeah. I told those past are part of it energetically. They're helping pollinate my heart. Yeah. He's showing me the blueprint lines and how to weave it with light and blue. See, that's what you want, Ellen. This will give you a better perspective on how she clocked its system, how to travel through direction of time. So you get a better communications with everybody else and more balance in its position, right? That's how I was able to understand the positions with my grandfather passed away, talking to me all levels when he was spiritual. He gave me so much data, right, to that positions when he was in World War II. Okay? The spiritual system is extremely real, and it's more real when you understand that you are a spiritual form, and you can connect a lot better seeing that through position. All right. I saw so many people in front of me, but I couldn't see all of their faces. I recognize I saw people from his lifetime. Look at peace and just happy. I just can't see everyone's face. That's okay. You have to go to higher level system rotations there, Cynthia. See it to more clarity, more vision, more travel, more speed, more light, right? But that's exactly what it is. You're seeing the afterlife, right, in your family relation. I'm with Marie. That was the song at the funeral. Oh, nice. Love is bigger than it was when they're all alive. Such appreciation and admiration. Now I see my grandma. All right, she was so connected and she had terrible life. She's so happy. And the thing is, too, you're getting the pieces of puzzles that you need to complete the cycle, okay, of your spiritual tree. That will make you feel better, knowing you know the answers, right? People that have crossed over. So. Love is here, bigger than it was. They're all alive. Such appreciation. Now I see my grandma. She was connected, but she had a terrible life. So she's apologizing for taking her life. See, that's the thing too, and it's all about understanding and finding me as a child and his eyes beaming at me. Yeah. I'm reviewing my life and falling in love with my inner child. I can see how much light I had as a child. So that's the positions where you have to stand so you can get into the angelics and become your angels and archangels. But this is the full transition on what happens when you go into the afterlife. Okay. The beginning process, right? So you never, ever, ever die. It's just the physical clocking system dies, right? But your soul always lives on. So much proud of the women I'm becoming and the life I'm creating. Never felt so grateful and emotional in my life. Feels so beautiful, beautiful commander. Remember, Lieutenant trumpets are blowing. Mm-hmm. My dad's showing me a place. I'm seeing blues and beams, all lights everywhere and orbs. It's amazing what you guys are seeing. And this is going to put you in a better perspective in your heart system. Now, how important is to know the life and death cycles of you. All right. They're getting into the formations of a tree. They're showing me how large my tree is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And see, it's more real when you go through the adaptation cycles of the physical realm. It's normally done through that track system between 80 to 120 years of a human cycle, the clocking system like conditions. So in that position, it's more real to that position. So you go into your physicals and you come out into your soul, right? To know exactly what happens when you pass over, right? And now you know. Where's the fear? No more fear. But that's exactly what happens. So I'm losing it, just straight up bawling my eyes out. Yeah, his favorite spot in the garden next to the harbor. Mm-hmm. Think pieces and puzzles, your family's putting things together for you guys, right? Let's see, hearts are beaming out like signals or a large tree. My tree is growing, my flower is growing below. I see all the flowers of the team growing with me, with mine. Mm-hmm. It's weird because when I'm in front of people in the spirit, I blue light, but when I was walking with someone, I saw myself through different timelines. Yeah. You're nauseous because you're not in your ground system. That's okay. That will bounce out. I'm feeling how I felt when I was low emotional abandonment. See, all that is coming together, right? And this is what your family can do. Bring the pieces and puzzles back together so you guys can get more formations to your heart, right? And you come out loving each other more. So my trees is growing. It's holding hands with my family. You're wearing white and blue. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Ellen sees me. Yep. I'm there. I'm there every time you guys travel. Don't worry. See, this is better for you guys now. This will make you more stronger in character, your identities and your systems and your travels, because now you've been through the life and death cycle all in one, right? No fear at all when you pass. See? That's a true understanding that everybody goes in position of pain, but soon as you understand why we created the cycles, we created the cycles because human identity doesn't understand its position or anything conditions, and that's why they pass over, and that's why they're in so much pain. So when they go up, no more pain, it's gone because they've left their body, right? So we created that cycle, okay, just to make sure that you do understand your aspects of you and your life, how it's connected to your alphabetical system, you know, your ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. You get into communications of a baby. Hint, hint. Child, teenager, and adult. That's the 4 cycles. 5 within the system, 6 within activation, 7 within the body system, and 5 with the conscious level. Okay. So Mhm. That's right, Commander. Yep, you see my wings. Uh-huh. My light was so bright as a little girl. Isn't that amazing? Coming into that aspect, Commander seeing that, right? As an inner child. Been collecting Maria. I was 24. Now I'm with her. I'm religious. I just love. Yep, I'm seeing a baby in its placenta. Hmm. It's not about anger. It's about forgiveness. Yeah, and letting go of all pain. So now you know what happens when your family passes and what they go through. Everybody goes through the same thing. It doesn't matter what you have in your body, right? Everybody is on a clocking system of time. It's all set up. It's all set up. Okay. So I'm stuck on the picture of all these people. I just recognize my grandma, the dog, and the parents, but I can't see the other faces. I feel almost frustrated. Yeah. You're frustrated because you have to understand more positions of you, Cynthia. You get your positions high level system, right? The track systems. The rebellion is a high line center. Everything to GFL is in a higher position line conditions, and everything to the galactic forces. You guys are in a higher track system, but you have to understand more programs of light. So the more you high rise to more light track system, the more everybody on the other side can see you through clarity and focus, right? And then you can see the pictures coming in frame, and then you actually can see what's going on. And then they start communicating with you, right? It's the most beautiful thing that you see once you understand the afterlife, right? So, Ellen is understanding now why, yeah, you're so big, yeah, in that position, yeah. I told you. I mean, it becomes more real, right? So you have to trust that factor, which trusts my factor system and all that positions, because now you're seeing me in the angelics of who I am, right? And why I became king of the angelics. I'm holding a beautiful white bird. I can feel the heartbeat. My sister is showing me my heart. It's great. Can't stop crying yet. Well, you guys have a lot to talk about now, eh? On Zoom. So, and blooming, yeah, and growing with that. Yeah. I like I let go of all my points of my timeline, each point representing painful periods of my life. All past trauma is now in love. Wow. And that's where you get better character. You strengthen up the mind of travel. And that's why I put you guys into the life cycles and the death cycles of the centerline system. Yeah, fascinating all the colors. Yeah. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see you, Ellen. Yeah, yeah. No, I see it. Hmm. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it doesn't get any more real than that, guys, especially when you understand these things. Nobody can do these except what's going on, right? So, and this is what you get when you go to higher levels of chakras, right? And that's the whole aspect, because the thing is that we can never ever live in full pain. And that's the acceptance that humanity doesn't understand. And that's why they have a time that's finished. And that's why they go to the other side. Okay. It's kind of like time's up, right? Because the body can only last so long if it doesn't understand the cycles. It's the life and death cycle of you, of the centerline system. And humanity doesn't understand the positions of travels. And that's why they pass over. And they keep passing over, keep passing over, and keep passing over until they understand their position, right? So you're going to keep going in that karma cycle. And every time you go around that circle, right, you keep living a dimensional body of a different physical aspect, but the soul keeps going. So it's all about one soul to another soul to another soul, which is you through track systems. So you're trying to understand all positions of you, what's happening with your dimensional time, right? So you're going from one soul, but it's the same soul, just going into different physical bodies of dimensional time. Each humanity has a different clocking system. If they don't understand the body shuts down. Okay, the soul goes up and then goes down and goes into the angelics every single time. So you keep going into a different birthing cycle of different parents in dimensional time. Okay, so it's very fascinating when you understand what happens with the life and the death cycles of you. Okay, so now you're getting a true understanding what it is when you pass over. So you can see the moment. Yep. It's like a pitcher, a big drop of water. Mm-hmm. You're so beautiful. Your heart is overflowing. There are so many people I felt, I might see, yet they're not visible to me in this second, yet so beautiful to me. Yep. The true understanding, Janet, is to more let go of your heart, and then you'll see more. The team, like I said, it's important to understand why we go higher, to understand more of space of travel, right? And humanity can't grasp the situation, and that's why they keep falling with their body. And that's why the thing is, we never really let people get in position of pain. They feel the pain, but when they go up, it's no more pain, right? So the body can only last a certain time. You understand? So it's all about the mind. Where does the mind go? What's the body doing? Right? Because the body will shut down if the mind shuts down. If the mind shuts down, the heart, everything will shut down. Okay, so that's understanding when you're going through a life cycle and a death cycle on what it is. Okay, truly understanding the meaning of life of you and why it's so important to understand both sides of you, right? Which is your ego. Okay, to get that is to get your balance of yin and yang. So you go through all that live stream, you go through your tunnels, you go through your families and all that, and then you would just fade away back into your position of where you are through track system. Okay, into your dimensions of your bioatmosphere and your braining atmosphere of where you are. So you go through the life and you go through the death and you go back to where you are. So, all right, stellar, babe. We're all in the water. Woo, traveling in the clouds. Chris is bogged down in physical system. Let's see. Break free connections to high positions, physical line center to Chris in position. High position line centers into all levels of travels. Formulation line center connections are changing as real. Transition to high position line connections, death cycle. Communications, high forcing line center rotation. Done. Yeah, and see, that's the thing. Because Chris, you never really passed over, did you, in that positions? And the thing is, too, you guys already done this. And you understand the aspects. And when I go through my healing, it's not healing, it's birthing. You guys don't see yourself, do you? Right? It's too freaky. But I'm allowing you through my space and my time. Ellen can tell you exactly what it is, how powerful my life is, and what I can do through my space and my time, and how you can go through any level of any dimension of any conditions. So when you go into the birthing system of Mother Earth, that's all you see. But you're in a position to see the life and the death cycle of you, which is very confusing, right? Because now in positions, you're no longer in a body. You're just seeing yourself in the soul of a heart, of a light track system, into the mind, right? So the mind is there, but it's like visual cortex. That's all you have. You're not in a body when you're on the other side, right? So, and that's a true understanding. So the body goes beneath the bowels of the earth. That's a true understanding what happens, right? And then you're either cremated or buried, right? Depending on what you want and what your family says, right? So true understanding what's going on, right? So this goes into the ground system. The particle system, I'm not talking about when you're buried or cremated. That's a carcass Your soul has gone up, right? So the identification line center, the particle line center is separated position line connections. It separates the body into the bowels of the earth, the line connections, all right? Trinity stand the high line connections, all right? So you go into that position to that transition, all right? So it basically, what it does is it takes its colors out, right? It takes the colors out like this. Its electrical lights goes into the ground line center. It sets up its operations to its cycles, getting ready for you to travel into that position, right? Right? So gets communication line centers. This is what happens to the track system. Electrical lights come up, getting ready. So it's kind of like crossing the frost bridge. All right, then the cycle goes through. Your body's going through. That's what happens. Okay, that's what happens. And the soul goes up, right, and goes right down to the bowels of the earth, right? So it goes into the center line system of mother's heart, into a high rotation, right into the angelics. Okay, and then you come into the covens of Archangel Azrael, the tunnel, okay, to his position. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's the death cycle. And it's confusing to you, right? And it's important you understand what's going on with you and why it's so important to live and appreciate your body, right? So, yeah, there's a lot of glitches, Tina, because you're going back into where you are three-dimensional block system back in your 114th, right? So it's just kind of trying to get you back. So you get out of the glitches and it'll come back into form, right? All right, let's see. Let's back phrase here the questions here. The light blue cords around here, Chris. Okay, then this is normal. Yes, general. You are so amazing. I saw the works of it in Dreamscape. Yep. Dreamscape. There you go. Check that out. All right. Absolutely. I've been feeling similarities since money's upgrade. And see, the thing is, when you pass over, everything comes to life, and then you understand why you live that life cycle. So all the pieces and puzzles and all your dimension of your soul comes into one. Right? So you get a better understanding because you have to learn how to travel now because you're not in your body anymore. You're just in a light. You're in a plasma light. That's it. That's all you're in. And then it's all about you understanding to get your wings and then start connecting to humanity. Right? The 7-track system to its line connection is that when you pass over, you're 7 days seeing your family overlooking, right? So that's when your body's about to shift, right? Your soul is about to shift. If it doesn't shift, it gets caught in its parallel, its paradigm, its paradox. It's stuck, and then it becomes a ghost. So it's caught in between two dimensions of realities. So that's what happens with people when they don't want to leave their body. They're caught in between two realities of their soul. Okay, that gives them into, I go in this all the time, and I go in this psychological line connections with their line center or whatever is happening with them, and I get them to make sure it's safe. This is a light, go through, don't worry, everything's going to work out for you. Go through. Some are harder than others, but they have to go through the light. So I have to make sure that they cross over. They can't be caught in between. So it's like being caught in a net and trying to get out. You can't get out. So you got a half body of physical line center and you get a half body of the plasma that needs to go up to understand the bowels of the earth. So it's all about the physical system is scared. So you're up there, but you're not in between that connections, right? So it's kind of like being caught in too many TV receptions, right? You have to be in position of one to understand the connections, right? So once they come out of the confusing alignment, I set things up and they go in. the tunnel to Archangel Azrael. They fully go through the cycle, right? Because sometimes the psychological or psychosis of a person just doesn't want to leave the body. So what happens is that they leave the body, but they're caught in between. And that's where you have to understand one foot is in the realm position of physical line, and the other is already in the angelic line. So it's all about understanding to get both positions into one direction so they can both go up at the same time, right? That's how they become a ghost. If they get caught in two realities, that's a paradox. Interesting, isn't it? So I've been feeling similar on Monday's upgrade. Yeah, your endless space of light. I can describe such a big space everyone fits in. Yep. That's where Ellen sees me now. She gets more understanding who I am. Right? Looks at the space you create for everyone. Wow, so powerful. See? And that's what it's all about, you guys understanding each other more, because now you've been through the life and the death cycles. Know what it is. It's amazing. Janet is crying. Excellent, Alan. I agree. So thankful for that. It's killing me. Must be. Yeah, it's exactly what it is, Christopher. Earth is nothing to time. So it's not just love and light, guys. It's love and light together. But you have to understand anything about you more is to really understand the life and the death cycle of you. Okay. What I mean is the aspects of it is love and light, but there is positions of light and dark, and you have to understand positions of light and dark between connections of yin and yang. You have to understand the birthing of you and the death cycle of you. That's the only way you can open up your heart to your truth of who you are. So, Earth is nothing to time, space, beautiful light, space. You have created us. Wow, yeah. Veronica's catching on. Ellen, love this. Yeah. All right, my ear just rang so intensely. Veronica's being shown your timeline. Wow, I love you, dear one. You're so special. I love you. So you guys are loving yourself more because you understand positions. So in the water, I see the ripples in the water, the different dimensions. Yeah, different dimensions, different timelines, getting really understanding through its connection. Life. Left or right? Smith, back at it. All right. What did they say when they rang? You can see both the dark and light, and it's separated completely. Bounce and, yeah, position, create an orange vortex tunnel, wishing you sacred flame. Oh, thank you very much, Tina. Yeah. Now it's tripping. I'm seeing green shapes. Coming out, the position line center. My phone, it's like shapes in a greenish yellow, shapes as I can't see clear. Still glitching, only hear every other word. It's High Priestess again, yeah. It's hard to understand these things because when you come into life and death cycle and you come back to who you are, you're going to go into glitches because remember, you're going back into your formation of what's going on with you, right? So it's all done through vibration, energy, and frequencies. So can you use your voice box and hands to fix it, Tina? When she gets back in full formation, yeah, to the ground line center, 114 chakras, yeah. You have to get back into the same atmosphere where you are, right? Because remember, to go through the death cycle, you have to be in the bowels of the grounds, and that confuses your anomalies. So everybody is thinking, whoa, you go up. No, you go down. Makes sense, doesn't it? Space and time is not what you think it is. Right? Into that positions. To understand the conditions. That's what happens when you pass. Right? So the vibration line center goes into the ground system. Your vibrations are lost. Your body is just the body, so it's the carcass. So it loses the vibration, it goes in the grounds, it sets operation, and the soul goes up, and then it goes straight down. So it sets it up through the magnetic line of its highway information to its calculations, and then it goes straight down to the bowels. Everybody sees the soul go up, but they don't see the aftermath. This is going into the afterlife. This is going into transition. This is going into the tunnel. This is going into your position where you see through your family. This is going into connections to its tunnel. And that's where you go see Archangel Azrael, angel of death. All right. So you drop in, and you go through. So that was trippy. Is that me coming back down? Yep. Green shapes. I'm feeling, yep. So you bring in your coloration. Your coloration and everything is a green and blue, right? That's your plasma, and everything your green is coming back in the heart central, okay? It's the most powerful plasma line center. So your body's coming back in your particle line connections, right? Through colorations, coming back into the atmosphere of time, of space, right? Connecting to all timelines at once. Yep. Collapsing into one. Yeah, it's a beautiful experience, isn't it? Now you guys feel different of what death is. So let's see. I'm just going to go back here. A couple of years ago, I was called to go sit with dying people in the hospital, and I could feel their souls raise. But now you know exactly what happens, Veronica, when somebody passes over or anybody in the hospital. They go through the same thing. Everybody goes through the same transition, right? So it's all about understanding the vibration goes into the grounds, okay? And that just, you're nothing but a carcass. The soul gets ready to activate, goes up, right? Gets into a magnetic highway information system. There's guards, vanguards, and all that waiting for you, right? It goes up, and then you go straight down into the bowels of Mother Earth, into the grounds of her heart. The heart central takes you to the angelics, what puts you into the tunnel of Archangel Azrael, right? And you know exactly what happens after that. You go right to see your family. So very powerful when you come across these things. And now you guys have more balance with each other, and now you love each other more. Hoo-ah. All right, let's see. Willen. Okay, here everyone's word. Okay, woo. Everything I'm creating, flying machines, woo. Yeah. Yeah, so you come more in the mind of speed now, right? Because that's the one conceptual that you guys were missing was your death cycle. Because every time you bring that up, it's like, ooh, what is that? That's freaky. That's fear. It's not fear. You know what it is now, so you can travel faster. And you can come more into the mind of collaboration to yourself and each other now, right? So, yeah. Black and white settings of test screen are being set up now. Yep. I feel the energies bursting. My heart, my third eye is so sensitive. Yep, it's pulsating. Yep, it's coming bring you back to the ground's atmospheres. Yeah, you've been going through the death cycle, right? In imagination. But this is not imagination. This is the true transition of what you go through. It's a little bit different. Okay, because now you're understanding to be prepared of what happens, what's put you in position of not being afraid, right? So bounce line center connections of Wheelan in the transition. Put his left and death cycle back in line center connections. He's a little bit wavy. So in the water, I see the ripples in the water, different dimensions. Yeah, we got into that connections. Seeing your reflections. Yeah. All of us being a little Off of digestive tract is very interesting. What did they say when they were okay? I'm just back phrasing here, just making sure I catch most of all your questions here. It's important to get your answers all met. But it's amazing when you come back and how you feel different about each other. My balanced energy flowing in my heart, flower, health to fully open. I noticed yesterday that my voice has changed. Yep. Your voice will change every time you go through higher levels of grounds and opposite line rotation into that position. Okay. I have an exploding card box with high priestess cards. Hold back. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, it's very trippy, isn't it? Talk about intense. Yeah. More water team. Yeah. Crying in recognition of work I came here to do. Yeah. You guys have a lot to talk about on Zoom now. Understand what it is and what happened to you. Right? So, isn't it fascinating what it is? And that's the thing is that we all look at the aspects of what is life and what is death, right? Death is not fear. Fear is just an imagination. It's an epiphany. It's like doesn't exist. It only exists if it exists through your perception, and it's all done through your thoughts. All right. So okay. So tomorrow we get to go through your chakra systems. We got to get allocated line centers to point all your point line center rotation connections, how to go through dimensions, you see levels, dimensional times, your clocking system, your coloration line channels, come to all positions of high levels of your connections. You have to learn each representation line center to your chakra of communications to transponder communication line interference location positions. All right. Adios.